West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Yes. I'm on half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, Machel St. Patrick here. Welcome to the live call-in show. Run up the likes, run up the shares, run up the subscriptions, algorithm. This is only a 50-minute show. On God, this is a 50-minute show. Got too many things to do, but it's Sunday night. We've moved the live call-in concept. It's no longer a midweek thing. Too many things going on on the evening times. So we try catch people on a Sunday. Big up everybody wherever you're tuning in from, whichever part of the Caribbean, the United States, North America, UK. I know a couple man might be in Australia, New Zealand. I don't know. Wherever you're tuning in from, big up yourselves. Not even any long chat. No long monologue at the beginning. Nothing long from me today. We're just going to get straight into it because we've only got 50 minutes. Let me see. We've only got 50 minutes, people. So straight into it. What are your thoughts on the thumbnail? Who did Devon put on the thumbnail? I think Daryl Mitchell was on the thumbnail. Casey Carty was on the thumbnail. So we're just going to get straight into the chitter and see what people have got to say. You know, obviously we played the first ODI today. I think my main takeaway from that first ODI is that West Indies may well reflect on that game and think, well, that was a big chance to get a rare win away in New Zealand in any format. Obviously, we won one of the T20s in the 5-match series, but this was a rare opportunity to get a win in another format of cricket in New Zealand. And I hope the other two games in the ODI series aren't like big defeats, because there was a chance there. There was a genuine chance there today. Too many drops in the field. Mitchell was dropped early. He goes on to make a century, and ultimately that century is the difference between the two sides when you chop it up. Too slow at the start. Carty and Athanaze were on played a goal slow innings. I know I've listened to Shafane Rutherford's interview after play, and he admitted that the team was trying to set the game up for the back end, but we left ourselves way too much to do. By the time Hope and Rutherford came in, we had to get a bit of a move on. Not a massive acceleration, but an acceleration nonetheless. I think when you crunch the numbers from the game, you see a huge discrepancy between the number of singles and twos that New Zealand took and what we did. Obviously, we hit some big sixes at the back end and so on and so forth, but you're simply not going to be able to beat teams like New Zealand on their own patch without being able to rotate strike. And respectfully to the current iteration of the ODI side that we've got, we don't have that many big hitters to be leaving a game to the back end to try and win it. You've got to be able to rotate strike up top, and we just simply didn't do it well enough. But that said, all that said, if you had offered me before today's game or yesterday, depending on when it started, if you had offered me and said West Indies will lose the first ODI by 7 runs, I would have bitten your hand off. I would have taken that. And yes, it doesn't earn you any ranking points, and yes, it feels like a bit of scant consolation. But at the end of the day, if like me and Santoki, you see the West Indies for what they are, which is basically a minnow side trying baby steps to get better, then you would see the performances or the performance like today where we lost by 7 runs as an improvement. Some people don't like to hear it, but it has to be seen as an improvement. Like, we nearly beat New Zealand away in New Zealand. England just went and played New Zealand away in ODIs and didn't come anywhere close to beating them. So I do think we've got to keep this in context. I'm not really here to listen to people who try to badmouth that performance. Were there things that could have improved? Yes. But that's any performance, really and truly. Did we run them close? Yes, and I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week. Let's get some questions because no one's clicked the call-in link yet. So let's get some questions. Run up the like, share, subscribes, all of that. Serious Soccer Fan says, is Jewel Andrew in the under-19 squad? So I've been led to believe, and take this with a pinch of salt, but I've been led to believe that Jewel Andrew will play in the under-19 World Cup. He still qualifies for West Indies under-19s. So by the time obviously there's in fact I haven't even checked the score in the last hour because I was doing some work. Let me just check, people. Hold on. I was led to believe, that by the time the World Cup comes around, the under-19 World Cup comes around, that Jewel Andrew will be selected. So at the moment, West Indies under-19s are playing England under-19s in Grenada. Joshua Dawn leading the way as usual. He's on 54. Sorry, people, let me just make this a bit bigger. Joshua Dawn is on 54 from 90 balls. Jonathan Van Lang is on 19, the hard-hitting guy, and is on 19 from 25. They're chasing 243 to win, but there's on 12 overs remaining. So they basically need about 90 odd in 12 overs with 6 wickets in hand. It's not an easy pitch to bat on, so not sure how the other 19 is going to go there. Anyways, but the point being, and sorry, I should say that Jakeem Pollard took 2 up top, the left armour. Who was the other one that took 2? Can't remember his name now. But yeah, so they basically shared the wickets around. So anyways, the point is, I was told that Jewel Andrew will be playing in the under-19 World Cup. Why is he not with the under-19s right now? Well, I guess the argument there is, what's better for Jewel's development? To play these under-19 games and block someone's potential opportunity against England under-19s, or to play for the Leeward Islands in Super 50? I think where Jewel Andrew's cricket is at, given that he's already been capped by West Indies senior side, I think there is more for Jewel to be gained, and his game in general, by playing Super 50. So that's what I believe is the case. Is Jakeem Pollard Kieron Pollard's son? Nope, that is not the case. Let's see what the questions are there. Here we go. Finally, Shafane Rutherford scored some runs. Yep, got run out opportunity here. No, they're right. Yeah, got some stuff coming out on Shafane Rutherford, so look out for that at some point next week. But yeah, good for him to get some runs. And in fact, actually, let me just pull his numbers. So obviously, we know that Shafane Rutherford's T20 form is absolutely ridiculous in terms of how rubbish it is. But it's important. I always like to say that we shouldn't get carried away, right? No hot takes. So let's just look at Shafane Rutherford in ODI cricket. So these are Shafane Rutherford's last 10 innings in ODI cricket. Bear with me, people. Yeah, here we go. So his last 10 innings are, including today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So his last 10 innings are 30, 70, 10, 45, 15, duck, 7, 12, 55. So he's got 250s in his last 10 innings. Obviously, that's a tail off from how brilliant his 2024 was. In fact, actually, I shouldn't even include that 30. So in 2025, he has batted 8 innings, including today, ODI innings, and his scores are 70, 10, 45, 15 ducks, 7, 12, and 55 today. So 250s in 8 innings in 2025. We'll take that. Obviously, it's not the same as 2024, but it would have been hard for him to replicate that. Let's go. Let's see some more comments. Where are we? Dre says, our batters have issues batting against spin, the moving ball, and short pitch bowling. That gives an opposition a lot to work with. Yeah, 100%. But come on, you lot know me by now. You know my take on all of this stuff. Like, this is why the New Zealand tour was always going to be a difficult tour for our guys. Any conditions where the ball does a lot, and basically our batters, generally speaking, are going to struggle. Give or take the 1 or 2 touch players like Shea Hope. Generally speaking, our batters will struggle, right? So that's why when people say to me, oh, what do you think will happen in New Zealand? I was like, well, we're going to catch some L's because the ball seems about in New Zealand. Unless it's basically low, slow, flat pitches, our batters on the whole will struggle. And I say low and slow because that's what they're used to in the Caribbean, but you just want it to be flat as well. So So yeah, it is what it is. But they can't get better without experiencing the conditions, I guess. So it is what it is. Serious Fan says, did you see Jared Kimber's video on West Indies cricket? Yep, I saw it. He echoes your sentiments that bringing in legends will not solve everything. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I haven't spoken to Jared about the video. Obviously, it's done a lot of traction. I would assume that part of his research for that video that Jared would have looked at stuff that we do. Jared knows my stance. I've long told Jared my stance. Jared knows that I think that the legends can't help anything. So I assume that part of his research for that video was taking in stuff that CCP have said. I would assume, honest to God, that a lot of people who do research on West Indies cricket, I would be shocked if they don't start by looking at CCP videos on any particular topic. Obviously, some people are going, oh, Mash, you're so arrogant. You think so much of yourself. But it's true, though. It's true. I think people know that with CCP, all you need to do is type a topic into our search engine, and you must can find a video on that particular topic at some point in time. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't think anyone's going to come on the call in today. That's interesting. But I'll take the comments, though. Suits me. So if you've got comments, people, dash them in the comment section. This looks like it might be one of them live call-in shows where it's actually just a live message in show. Run up the like, share, subscribe, all of that. David Samuel says, you good, Mash? Wait, is this the one and only David Samuel? Anyways, he says, you good, Mash? Not sure if West Indies, apart from hope, that we have the know-how to construct a winning chasing score. Worried that we continue to think hitting sixes is the way to go. Sorry, I'd take a swig of water there. When I was watching Carty and Athanasi's innings today, the thing about it, and obviously if there's anybody else who's watching their innings, it wasn't like they weren't trying to find the gaps. They just, generally speaking, couldn't find them, and it wasn't for the want of trying. I think the pitch was harder to play on than people potentially realize. And it wasn't like they weren't hitting the ball. They were just hitting the ball straight to fielders, pretty much. There was a period of play. When was it? It was from about the 16th, maybe even earlier, maybe like the 12th, 13th over, until the point that Athanase got out and then Carty got out shortly afterwards, where I think I was just watching going, they can't, they're stuck. Like we've seen Carty in his early iterations in ODI cricket used to do this a lot, where he'd just get stuck. And then last year, he kind of learned how to get out of getting stuck and then capitalize on the fact that he'd been there for quite a while. He seems to have regressed a bit in 2025. Not all of it, but he seems to have regressed. No, because he was good in Ireland earlier on this year, but he seems to have regressed a bit lately in terms of he's getting stuck again and so on and so forth. But he's got loads of credit in the bank, so we have to trust that he'll work his way through it. Athanase obviously is being asked to open, which isn't ideal for him, I would guess. But then again, it is what it is, I guess. Got out to the sweep. It was a soft dismissal. Let's see how they go in the next game, because it won't be the same wicket again. So let's see how they go before we make any kind of big pronouncements on them. But yes, generally speaking, Hope is the only player in that ODI side that actually knows how to pace an innings. Rutherford obviously had a stellar year in 2024. But this is the problem, and this is why we're a minnow ODI side. When you look through our team, it's still, rightly or wrongly, our ODI side is still essentially Shea Hope and Prayers. And like I say, when Hope got out, I think it made 37 from 42. For those of you who are watching it live, like me, when Hope got out, who didn't think, yeah, well, that's basically the game? And that wasn't to say that there wasn't batting to come, because obviously there was still, Rutherford was still in, Chase, Graves, Shepherd, Ford, Springer. They can all bat to some extent, right? But generally speaking, when Shea Hope gets out and he hasn't set up and paced our innings for us, generally speaking, you think, well, boy, that looks like that's it, and we're fried fish. And that kind of just shows you the levels of hope compared to everybody else in the team. Kirk says, Mr. CCP, you need to do a show on the opening spot and number 3 spot, because those are the spots up for grabs. You say opening spot. You technically should say opening spots, There's 2 opening spots available. No one, because Evan Lewis breaks down so easily and so often, there is no one in that team right now can say that they have a fix on the opening spots. And here's the thing. If you go, this is Santoki said it on his video when he did the ODI preview for this tour. You look at the Super 50 squads, and I'm going to do a video on Super 50 early next week. I'm looking at the squads and I'm going, boy. And the thing is, I already know what West Indies fans are like. Someone's going to have a good Super 50, and West Indies fans are going to just demand that person gets straight into the team. No one's going to think if that person is ready for international cricket or not. People will just extrapolate and go, well, he should come straight into the team. My litmus test for Super 50 is this. When you look through the Super 50 squads, does any player stand out to you that can play in our top 3? Go and look at it now. If you're watching this live, go and look at it now. Get up all the Super 50 squads. I've got them, but I'm saving it for when I do my video, right? Is there any player there that makes you feel something? And I'm actually going to wait to see what people say in the comments. Is there any batter in Super 50? Don't include Jewel Andrew in this. Is there any batter in Super 50 that makes you feel something? What happens, for example, okay, check this out. What happens if Craig Brathwaite top scores in the Super 50 tournament? Let's say Barbados get to the final and Craig Brathwaite is the top scorer in Super 50. What happens then? Are we bringing Craig Brathwaite into international cricket in 50-over cricket? What happens then, people? Get in the comments. Get in the comments and let me know. What would you do then? Talk to me. Andrew Murray says Matthew Nandu makes him feel something. I mean, is Matthew Nandu good? I mean, is anyone good? Matthew Nandu has some potential, yes, but I'm not feeling anything yet from Matthew Nandu. I hope some of these players are watching this in the mid-afternoon in the Caribbean. Nandu's got a U on the end, by the way, Andrew. But I just realized you said Nando. But anyways, it's Nandu. Anyway, I hope some of the Super 50 players are watching this on their burner phones in the Caribbean right now, and I hope some of you are feeling a certain kind of way that I'm not rating you. Like, someone show me something. Actually, do you know what? If Josh is watching this, Josh, this is your time. This is your chance. If Josh De Silva can score runs in Super 50, I'd put him in the 50-over squad. There's a name. There's a name that I'd utilize. Some of you might cuss. You're going to say, oh, Mash, that's just because you like Josh De Silva. Whatever. Josh, here's your challenge. Score some runs. If Josh De Silva can score some runs for that Trinidad side, I would put him in the 50-over squad. He makes me feel something. So there's a couple man out there that I can catch a couple feelings for. So yeah. Right. Let's go back up to the comments. Let me see where I was at. Pure comments, you know. Run up the likes, shares, and subscriptions, people. Algorithm. Where was I? Let me find some comments. Shea Hope belongs in the tier below Virat and Rohit. Shea Hope is better than Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli plays for a top tier side. It's easier to be good in a side where you have other good players around you. Shea Hope, pound for pound, is better than Virat Kohli because Shea Hope has played his entire career with shithounds. Virat Kohli has played 95% of his career with other world beaters. Shea Hope is better than Virat Kohli. I'm not artsing anybody anything. I'm telling you that he's better than Virat Kohli. Pound for pound. Pound for pound. If Virat Kohli was playing for this West Indies team, he'd still have his hundreds and stuff, but he'd still be playing for a losing side the same way how Shea Hope is playing for a losing side. Virat Kohli wouldn't be able to suddenly win us matches any more than Shea Hope can't win us matches. So there you go. Bear in mind, Virat Kohli and all these other players that you lot will tell me are better than Shea Hope actually came up through a system that develops players. Shea Hope came up through what system? Like, our players come up in a system that doesn't even support them. All these other, when you compare a West Indian player to other world beaters, you lot have to remember that our players don't have a system. When we get a Shea Hope or a Jaden Seals, they succeed in spite of the system, not because of the system. All these other players actually get support and proper development to become who they are. That's why I say, pound for pound, Shea Hope is better than Virat Kohli, because our players come up with zero real support to get them to where they are. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Pound for pound. Listen to the words I'm saying. Pound for pound. Put some of these world beaters in our shithouse system and you think they'd be world beaters. Tell a man to go sit down and share one watermelon with 17 other men and not get to use the nets because a cow has shit down the nets. Come on, man. And I'm not even being. Do you know what the thing is? You lot will think I'm being controversial for the sake of being controversial. I'm not being controversial. I genuinely believe that. I genuinely believe that. I don't know how Jaden Seals made it. You know, I don't know how Jaden Seals made it to actually be where he's at the age of 22, 23. Tell me the next time we're going to get a Jaden Seals. Might have to wait the next 10 years to get a next Jaden Seals. Shafane's acquisition by Mumbai Indians is an interesting trade. I don't care about IPL. IPL is probably why India got bowled down for 93 today. They better think about that. Right. Our batters have issues. Oh, no, I've read that one. Sorry. Where are we? Let's get some. OJ Shields. Yes, so OJ Shields, we've been reliably informed that OJ Shields and Kavem Hodge will be named in the West Indies Test squad for New Zealand. I don't know if there's any Jamaican cricket aficionados in the chat right now, but and I say this with respect to OJ Shields as a cricketer, but I don't know how many of you watching this, if you're a long-time CCP supporter, follower, fan, whatever, you'll know that Santoki and I made a video in the last few months. I can't remember which one exactly it was, but Santoki and I made a video in the last few months. And the reason why I remember it is because I remember some uncles cussing me, saying, you two laugh about our cricket too much. You don't take it seriously. You need to support the guys more. Stop laughing about things, right? And they said that to me and Santoki after we did a video where we were laughing. Which player were we laughing about? That's it. We were laughing, saying that anybody can get called up to the West Indies side. That's it. It was Santoki, because I did a short about it. Do you not remember that Santoki made a comment where he said that you could be working in a bank right now in the Caribbean and still have a shot at getting to the T20 World Cup? And he used it as an example to say that anybody can make a West Indies side these days. And then after Santoki said it, I bust out a big laugh, and Santoki was laughing. And then I had loads of uncles emailing me going, nah, you're disrespectful, Mash. You laugh at our players and our team. You laugh at West Indies cricket. You're too disrespectful. Anyways, I told that uncle to shut up, right? But my point has been proved. 18 months ago, OJ Shields was teaching PE. You lot think, see, when I say this stuff about West Indies cricket, I don't say it just for jokes, you know. I bust a laugh because you have to laugh. Because if you don't laugh, you'll cry, right? So you have to bust a laugh. This isn't OJ Shields' fault, by the way. OJ Shields could well go. In fact, how old is OJ? I want to say that OJ might be 28 already, you know. Let me check how old OJ is. He might even be 30 by now. Let me check. OJ Shields, he is 30 years old. To Jaja, right? This isn't OJ Shields' fault, right? But how can you go from teaching PE 18 months ago to getting called up to go and be part of the West Indies test squad in New Zealand? Just logically break that down for me. That doesn't mean, by the way, that doesn't mean that the selection is wrong. I'm not trying to say that it won't work, or I'm not trying to say that there's no method to the madness, but just break that down in your head. A man is about to go to New Zealand in our test squad, and he was teaching PE 18. You might as well call me then. I teach A-level politics. Call me up then. You might as well, because nowadays in West Indies cricket, any man can get a call up. And if we're being honest and if we're being realistic, right? If you're a proper Jamaican cricket aficionado, I'm speaking to all the Jamaican cricket fans out here. Obviously, I know our country is MashUp on the west side right now, so I don't know how many of you can even tune in right now due to internet, electricity, etc. But if the eastern half of Jamaica is able to tune in, and you know your cricket, any proper Jamaican cricket fan would say OJ hasn't even established himself in the Jamaican team yet. So how on earth is he going into the West Indies? This is like when Kurt McKenzie got a call up. And again, proper Jamaican cricket fans, when Kurt McKenzie got a call up to the West Indies team, proper Jamaican cricket fans said, huh? What? What's he doing in the West Indies side? Like, this is the thing, right? The one thing I love about my Jamaican people is we will be the first to cuss about our own players if we don't believe that they should be in a team. We'll cuss first before any other island man can cuss about our players. We'll cuss first and say they shouldn't be there. Right? OJ Shields shouldn't be in the West Indies test squad. Simple. I'm not answering questions. I'm not answering no questions. He shouldn't be there. Hopefully, he goes on to make me shut my mouth, stick some words down my throat, etc. But he shouldn't be there. Just like Kurt McKenzie should never have been there. And then when he went England and shit down himself, that was inevitable because he shouldn't have been called up at that stage of his career. But it is what it is. 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 What are we supposed to do out here? Right. Let's find some more comments. Sorry, people. I went into one there. Mash, you need to do an episode called Finding a Way to Win. We missed like 3 wins on this tour. Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, I'll jot that down in the in the content list. And look, if I don't get that done within the next 2 weeks, shout me and to remind me that I haven't done it yet. Jigadon, Jigadon sounds like a cartoon character, a raunchy cartoon character, but a cartoon character nevertheless. Jigadon says, what are your thoughts on our fast bowlers not being actual fast bowlers? Also unfair in that Hope is at risk of being burnt out. 100% Hope needs a rest. Hope needs a rest, cuz. Yeah, I don't know what to say about the Hope question because it's just true. I've got nothing else to say other than you are correct. He needs a rest. And fast bowlers that's why OJ Shields is going to New Zealand, because he's a fast bowler. We don't have many in the Caribbean. That's the reality of the situation. I think the next one would be Pittman. He's probably the next quickest if you're looking at the academy sides. I might have that wrong. Somebody get in the comments, let me know if I'm missing someone out. But I think there's Gillon Tyson for the Windward Islands. He's quick. You might have seen him in CPL for St. Lucia. Sorry, not Gillon Tyson. No, sorry, Gillon Tyson. Is he the Dominican? He's quick. Keon Gaston. Was Gaston quick? I can't even remember. Genuinely curious, why isn't Django playing? What position would you play him in and who for? Jay says West Indies should have won today. So many balls that they hit to fielders should have been 2s. Yep, I agree. If Afanase and Carty had hit 1s and 2s up front, I think we would have won that game. But if we hadn't dropped Daryl Mitchell, we may have won that game. So there's lots of ifs and buts. And remember, at the back end of the game, didn't New Zealand put down like 4 chances themselves? So there's a lot of ifs and buts and this and that and whatever that we could talk about, to be fair. Thoughts on Rodman Powell being retained by KKR? Don't care. Andre Russ being let go? Don't care. Can you see a future where IPL has no West Indies cricketers? 1000%. I think we are 2 years away from Hetmeyer not being IPL anymore. And Puran ain't even West Indian anymore because he don't want nothing to do with us. So I think we're about 2 years away from the IPL only having about 2 West Indians in IPL. If excluding Narayan, we don't really count him either. So I think we're about 2 years away from only 2 men getting an IPL call up. Where is Isaiah Thorne? So he's a reserve. He's a traveling reserve, I think, for Guyana in the Super 50. His drop off. Remember when we toured England in 2024? He was part of the test squad, like one of the traveling youth men. Somebody Guyanese is going to have to come in the chat and tell me what's happened to Isaiah Thorne in terms of his drop off. He's gone from promising youth man to can't even make Guyana's team. There has to be a reason. There's always something going on behind the scenes. Might be some politics for all I know. Why does Afanase always get out in such stupid ways? I mean, he loves the sweep. The thing with the sweep shot is it's a great shot to utilize and Afanase is the best player in our team at utilizing it. But then when you get out to it, it will always be seen as a soft dismissal. So tomato. Let's go South Africa. So interesting this one. I retweeted. So those of you who follow our X handle or Twitter handle will know that after the India series, the BCCI X handle posted a tweet where they called it Gambia Masterclass, some dunce comment like that, right? And they showed this video of Darren Sammy inviting Gautam Gambhir into the West Indies changing room to spout some bullshit to our players about, this, that, and the third, right? And I quote tweeted the BCI tweet and said, what on earth are we supposed to learn from this man? We're about to go to New Zealand, and this man got trounced 3-0 at home by New Zealand. He can't help us. He can't teach us nothing. Anyways, that tweet got 250,000 views on X, right? And bare Indian man came on there, most calling me a gorilla, and the N-word and cussing me out, a lot of them, as usual, right? But the thing is, everyone was like, Mash, you're always trolling. I wasn't even trying to troll. I was actually being deadly serious. This is the thing, because I'm such a wind-up merchant, everyone always thinks that I'm on a troll. That tweet was never meant as a troll. I was being serious. I was like, we can't learn nothing from Gambhir. He can't teach us nothing. You just got trounced at home by New Zealand. Beating West Indies at home don't prove anything. Everyone beats West Indies at home. You didn't prove anything by doing that. You can't teach our squad anything. Now look. His side just got bowled down for 93 by South Africa. I warned you lot. The man can't tell us nothing. From the minute West Indies took India to day 5, the last month in that test match series, I knew South Africa were going to take India there. Us, we went to India in unfamiliar conditions with one of the weakest squads in the World Test Championship and took a test to day 5 and made India sweat for a tiny piece. Couple man got centuries, Campbell and Shea Hope. From the minute that happened, I said, South Africa's about to deal with their clot when South Africa turn up. That's why I tweeted that thing I did. It wasn't meant to be a troll. I was literally tweeting it to say this man can't teach us nothing. He ain't no good. He ain't no good. Sorry, Indian fans. If there's any Indian fans tuning in, I know you might get emotional with me saying that, but we ain't got nothing to learn from that man. So said, so done. Ah, boy. This thing is, the comments, that Joe Bob comment was ages ago. That comment was 20 minutes ago. Look at me scrolling through these comments, mad slow. Right, let me see if I can find some. Jay says Jules should be opening and Afane should bat at 3. Jules, what, opening ODIs? Nah, I'm not sure about that. He can if you want, but would basically, I guess you're saying that because I guess you're thinking he'd show more intent. But basically, he would be a sacrificial lamb if we were asking Jules Andrew to open. I know we did it in England earlier this year, and that, to me, that was a sacrificial lamb move. So yeah, let Jules just chill out. It'll be interesting to see, actually. Let's see where Leeward Islands play Jules. Charlie says, for some reason, Walsh Jr. is not getting a Leeward Islands call up. Yeah, so I've done some digging on that. I won't name the names of the people I've spoken to, but one of the key selectors, if not the head selector in Leeward Islands cricket, is Antiguan. And for those of you who don't know, a couple of months back, Hayden Walsh did an interview. I think it was in the Antigua Observer, if that's what the paper is called. I can't remember if that's the name of the national paper. And anyways, he was cussing, saying the facilities to use in Antigua are never available. How is a professional cricketer supposed to improve their craft when I can't even just turn up and use facilities? Anyways, 2-2s now. We get to the Leeward Islands Senior Tournament, and Hayden Walsh Jr., instead of playing for Antigua in it, is playing for Montserrat. Okay, 2-2s now. Hayden Walsh scores the most runs in the competition. Is, I think, third highest run scorer in the competition, highest wicket taker in the competition. Doesn't get picked. Come on, this is politics. It's politics. Now, obviously, they've picked Micah McKenzie as the leg spinner for the Leeward Islands Super 50 squad. But I was speaking about this the other day. Names will remain nameless. I'll protect their names. And I was saying to them that picking Mike McKenzie is fine. Mike McKenzie is a talented leg spinner. Maybe some of you saw him in the breakout league. There's nothing wrong with picking Mike McKenzie. However, what do you think will benefit Mike McKenzie more? Traveling with the Leeward Islands Super 50 squad to Trinidad and trying to learn to bowl just on his own, and potentially getting licked down, because leg spinners by habit get licked down, right? Or would it have made more sense to take both Micah McKenzie and Hayden Walsh and let Hayden Walsh train up and develop the Ute man? And if you want to play Micah in one game, Hayden in another game, so be it. But why not take Hayden and Micah? If you wanted to take Micah, take Hayden as well and let the Ute man naturally develop under the tutelage of Hayden. Does it even make sense to take the Ute man? Mike McKenzie, what, 18 years old? Does it even make sense? Come on, man. Come on. So if Mike McKenzie plays one of the games for Leeward Islands now, let's say he plays a game for Leeward Islands. Obviously, he's not going to bowl his allocation of 10. So let's say he plays one of the games for Leeward Islands now, Super 50, and he goes 6 overs, if he even gets to bowl that many. 6 overs, none for 72. Once, say that happens to Micah McKenzie, what do you do after that? How do you build him back up? You probably don't play him for the rest of the tournament. So then he travelled for what? How did he develop? Who helped him develop? How did he learn his craft? And then you probably don't pick him again, because by the time you then get back now, and now it's time to pick a squad for the 4-day championship, you leave him out. So what did he benefit from? That, and what I've just described is exactly what I expect to happen to him. He'll play one game, probably get licked down, and he would have learned nothing. So, anywho, these teams must know what they're doing, innit? They must know what they're doing. I'm just a man on the end of a camera just chatting shit. So they must know. Right, how many minutes left? Last 8 minutes, people. Let me pick some comments. Find some comments. Right, two. Jay says, who is our next amazing generational white ball talent like Shea Hope? What, with the bat? Boy, I don't know. I actually don't know. I'll let you lot answer that in the comments. I don't know. I can't call a name for you. I don't see anyone. right now. I mean, I've said that Jewel will be good, but that's a long ways away yet. But I don't know. Shamar Joseph came out of nowhere. Yep, 100%. Anthony says, greetings, Mash. I'm wondering when Sammy and the team realise that they have an opener in the team, Graves, who scored 3 centuries in Regional Super 50. Yeah, he did. Didn't they? Oh, yeah, no, sorry. No, I know something about... Sorry. Okay, so I should... before I tell this story, I'm trying to work out if I can say the person's name. Okay, I can't say the person's name, or I don't think it's right to say the person's name. When I was in Ireland, you know, obviously we had our ODI tour, or our white ball tour of Ireland earlier this year. When I was in Ireland for the white ball series, I was told that they have deliberately put Graves at 6 or 7. I can't remember what his position actually is. I think it's 7. They've deliberately put him there because they believe that he can be more effective as a late order hitter / finisher in that role. And to be fair, what did he do today? Did he not score like 36 from 20 odd in the back end chase to try and get us over the line? So my understanding is they want Justin Graves in an all-round finisher position in the side because they expect him to also bowl, not his full allocation. I don't know how many he bowled today, but generally speaking, they expect Graves to bowl usually like 6 or... Let me see, how many did Graves bowl today? His role in the team, they expect him to bowl like a 6 or 7, at least in an ODI innings. Let me just see. So Graves today bowled 8 overs. There you go. See, 8 overs, 1 for 54. So they see him as an all-rounder in this side, hence why they probably don't want him to open. I mean, their hand may be pushed at some stage to try him there again, but that's not the role they see him for right now. Let's find a comment. Druv, big talk, man. Big talk. Has anyone seen our episode? Has anyone seen the first big talk episode? Go watch that episode if you haven't done so. Big talk. Who deserves a test call up first, Shields or Pittman? Pittman. But like I say, if they're, I assume that the reasoning for Shields. Do you know what? The reasoning for Shields is similar to the reasoning for why England picked Shoaib Bashir. I am assuming that they have seen something in the biodynamics of OJ Shields, noted the fact that he's one of the quickest bowlers in the region, looked at the fact it's New Zealand and said, we need an out-and-out quick bowler. Alzari's not there. Shamar's not there. OJ Shields is the next quick taxi off the rank. Genuine quick, that is, before anyone says to me Anderson Phillip or something like that. Right, 5 minutes to go. Mash, what are your views on Ford in Test cricket? He is bowling really well in New Zealand, and because both Josephs are injured and questions on availability of Holder. Yeah, a lot of people have said this to me. Should they just take Ford into the Test squad? This Test squad's going to be very, very interesting because, like I say, if what I was told is correct, and I believe it to be correct, if Kavem Hodge and OJ Shields are going to be there, we have to start to think about who's not going to be there. Does that mean Brandon King has already flown home? Because that suggests to me that he won't be part of the Test squad, right? Ford, I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it. And I do wonder if Sammy's thinking about that, but time will tell. Dre says, if Hope gets injured like Alzari, we might have to take a break from the game. Yeah, it's true, you know. I mean, although the other side of it is, if Shea Hope ever had a long-term injury, it would finally force other players to have to step up. Because I do sometimes wonder, you know how like on CCP, we're like, Shea Hope and prayers when it comes to ODI cricket. Sometimes I wonder, is that what the players think as well? Like when Shea gets out, are they like, chance is long for us now? Similar to like when Craig Brathwaite was on his stretch of form between 2022, 2023, 2024. And you know how we went on that stretch of form in Test cricket where basically if Craig batted long, we actually had a chance of not losing. I wonder if it's like that with Shea in ODI cricket. in terms of level of importance. I mean, we've seen what happened to our test team. The minute Craig couldn't make runs no more, you saw what happened to the test team's performances. So you see what I'm talking about. Like last few. I didn't even see this. Verdi with the super sticker. I don't even know what a super sticker is, but thank you so much, Verdi. Much appreciated. I nearly missed that. Thank you so much. Super chat, super stickers, super thanks, all very much appreciated. I dropped an article. Sorry, you just reminded me with that. I dropped an article this week, people, looking at Super 50. So if you're yet to subscribe to Caribbean Cricket News, the link is in the descriptor. Basically, I write a lot of analytical articles on there. Big up the submissions I've had as well. Joel Bailey's submitted some stuff. Shastri submitted some stuff. I had an anonymous article submitted to me exposing some of the fraudulent economic activity with the TTCB. So it's obviously, word is getting out there that this thing exists. It's not a generic news site, people, where, you know, it's not like one of them clickbait ESPN cosplay stuff on West Indies cricket. There's no cosplay going on. There's no paint by numbers articles. These are like some in-depth analysis. One of the articles I wrote on two-tier cricket, I interviewed Johnny Grave for it, and exactly what the ICC have basically done is what Johnny Grave told me was going to happen. He was like, Mash, they ain't going to allow it to go to 2 tiers because India, England, and Australia don't want to fund no one. So there's some top quality stuff on there. Look at the link, subscribe, etc., etc. Last few things. Rod says, how do we get rid of these men who run and kill our cricket? These men are not accountable to anybody. So I think this might be the last comment I do today, people. Sugar, I didn't even realize there's loads of super chats. Oh my God. Right, I'll have to. Yeah, so people, there's a super chat from Verdi, so that will probably be the last one. This is going to sound very, very harsh. Some say very, very controversial, but I genuinely mean this. Okay. Let me just see what the under-19s are doing, by the way. One sec. The under-19s. Wait a minute. Jaja, hold on. Hold on, people. 1 second. Wait. Under-19s, 222 for 4. Joshua Dawn. Van Lane just got run out. Dawn is still there. And unbeaten on 90 from 118 balls. They need 21 from 20 balls to beat Babylon under-19. Full toss, and it's gone away. That might go away for 4, you know. Sorry, people. I'll come back to this in a minute. No, it goes away for 2. They'll run back for 2. Nearly bowled him down. Missed the full toss. Who's that on? Who's that batting right now? Sorry, people. I'll come back to the chat in a minute. Oh, Van Lane was caught, not run out. Shaquan Bell. He got 2 wickets earlier on. So they need 20 from 19. Jack Nelson is bowling. Lumsden, who bowls for England, his dad is Jamaican, by the way, but obviously bowled him. Dawn's been bowled for 90. Jaja. Nelson got one to in swing on him. Looks like Dawn has missed a straight one, to be honest. That guy bowls like Mark Elam. In fairness, it's moved in the air, you know. Dawn has played it as if it's coming onto his thigh pad, and it's just moved back in and taken out the off stump. That's a beauty of a delivery, to be fair. So Dawn goes for 90. They need 21 from 19. Let me wrap this up. And go and finish watching that match. Bit of live comms there from me. So, Rods, how do we get rid of these men who run and kill our cricket? These men are not accountable to anybody. So, what I would say is, if you're an uncle watching this, you're going to take this as disrespectful. And I know it is disrespectful, but I also mean it. Anybody who is over the age of 65, who has a vested interest in West Indies cricket, most of you are to blame for the way West Indies cricket is right now, because you were and I'm talking from the ordinary layman all the way to all the people that have played for the West Indies who are over 65 and all the administrators. You are to blame because you lot were the stewards for our cricket. You were the stewards for our cricket, and it was on your watch. It was on your watch that our cricket became what it is now. And in spite of that, despite it happening on your watch, you are the ones who still have the biggest mouth about the cricket, as if it didn't decline under your watch. So my argument is this: the current generation who talk the most about cricket, until they go, West Indies cricket can't improve because they sucked our cricket dry. They sucked it out. They sucked it off. How raunchy. They were raunchy with the cricket, and now look where we're at. They were the over 65s. They were too raunchy with the cricket. So it's up to my generation and the ones underneath to try and rebuild it. It's up to us. Right. Okay. And then last comment. There was a super chat. The last comment. I'm going to wrap this up, people. Verdi says, do you think West Indies can pull off at least one win in New Zealand in the ODIs? Or okay, we've got 5 matches remaining in New Zealand, 2 ODIs and 3 test matches. Can we get one more win on this tour? Yes. What format will we get it in? God knows, but I think we can get one. Thank you so much for the super chat, Verdi. Thank you to anybody who came in on the live, submitted a question, etc., etc. I've got to go because there's something I've got to attend to. I've actually gone 3 minutes over time, but thank you anybody who joined in live. Thank you, Verdi, for the super chat. So much appreciated. And as you can see in the link below, people, Relief Fund for Jamaica post-Hurricane Melissa, support jamaica.gov.jm. Any little bit you can give, even if it's only 99 cents, any little bit you can give, people, counts towards rebuilding the country. I've been Machel St. Patrick here on Half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. That's been another live messaging show because it weren't a call-in. No one called in. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll be back very, very soon. Got some content coming, so stay locked in. West Indies under 19 need 19 from 15 balls. It looks like they might fumble that bag. Go and watch the conclusion, people, and I'll see you all very, very soon.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.